I'm going to start it off with a quick story. So, Super Bowl Sunday, I had my monthly mastermind meeting with 3 of my internet friends. These are kids that I all met in the past year. They're absolutely crushing them. One of them, Ryan Roll, has been on this podcast. The other one, Claude Springer, and then Will Straka. All entrepreneurs crushing in the game of life. We get on this mastermind call, and the purpose of it is to explain some of our wins in life right now, and then explain some of what we're struggling with, and hopefully get advice from each other and pick each other's brains. So I'm sitting there listening, and one of the guys, he starts speaking and talking about a struggle. And let me frame it. This kid's crushing it. Runs his own creative agency, 20 years old, has worked for some of the biggest clients in the entire country, travels the world. He's crushing it. And he gets up there and he goes, I can feel so dialed and so on top of the world for like 5 straight days. I feel invincible, self-confidence, all-time highs. I am running with enthusiasm. Everything is working. And then boom, next 2 days, nothing feels right. There's so much self-doubt that creeps in. I question myself, can I even do this? I question, can I scale this? Is this even long-term? Is it sustainable? And while he's saying this stuff, I'm sitting there listening like, holy shit, I feel the exact same way right now. 1 week you're up here, the next week you're down here. And then you're up here, and then you're down here. And then you're up here, and then here. It's like a cycle of extremes. And this could get prolonged and expanded in a way different form. And I'll explain why. In my life, in the past, I can be a person of extremes. Meaning, for X period of time, I am so freaking motivated, so dialed in, so disciplined, everything is going well. And then after X amount of time, slowly it begins to fade out. And I get a little bit less motivated, and I get a little bit less disciplined, and I get a little bit lazier. And it's just a never ending circle. I'll give you a couple examples. Starting in summer 2023, broke up in a relationship, heartbreak, very pure form of motivation. I said, I am getting in the best physique of my life. I am going to get a consulting internship. I don't want to do anything. I am locked in. That summer, I had a fantastic physique, strict, bed at 10:30, wake up 7:30 in the morning, spent 2 hours in the gym every day, super disciplined. I come into the school year and now I'm just like, man, I did all that. I had a great physique, but what was it for? Like to prove this girl wrong? I don't even see this girl anymore. It doesn't matter. So then slowly I began to fade out of it. And since I was so restricted over the summer with my eating, I started binge eating a little bit more and then getting lazy in the gym because I'm like, I'm not doing this for anything. And then slowly I faded out. But then boom, December comes, New Year's, and I'm like, I got to set myself up for this next year really good. I got to lock back in. Over winter break, I get super dialed in again. Restrictive eating, get a good physique, putting a ton of effort into self-reflection. And then what comes in January? Study abroad. Study abroad comes and my entire world shook up. It is so much different. School is not real. You kind of party every single day. You travel on the weekend. So then in my mind, it's like, dude, I just spent this whole winter break getting dialed, no partying, no drinking, no eating bad. Well, now I'm going to have fun. And I went so off the deep end, so extreme with the degeneracy, partying, drinking, eating food, and I got fat. And I got lazy and it was bad. And then this summer, internship comes. I'm sick and tired of it. I get back in good shape. That's just like how the cycle of extremes tends to work with me. And so with Ryan sharing this on the mastermind, I'm sitting there and saying, I kind of feel the cycle changing again right now. Over winter break, I was so disciplined and dialed. This month, I got up probably at 6 a.m. every single day of the week. Was ripping 2 workouts a day. But now, this past week, for example, Saturday, I'm sitting here Saturday night. I know I got a lot of stuff I got to get done, but I'm sitting there and just like no motivation. I don't feel like it at all. And then I start questioning why I'm doing these things. And now it's hard to go to boxing class because I don't want to do it. It's tough to rip 2 workouts a day because I don't want to do it anymore. It's difficult to go in a cold shower because I don't want to do it. Hitting snooze now becomes a little bit easier because I don't want to get up. I'm not as motivated. And it's a cycle of extreme. And when the cycle of extremes kicks in, do you know what is at the forefront of that? Self-doubt. And then you start questioning yourself and saying, dude, do I deserve any of this right now? Is it even possible that I want to do this? And then slowly and slowly and slowly, you can fall into a very bitter trap until you hit rock bottom. And then you hit rock bottom and you bounce back up. That's not the way life should be though, nor do I want it to go that way. I don't want to be stuck in a little rat race. Ask yourself, have you been stuck in this rat race before? The cycle of extremes of self-doubt. You hit rock bottom, then you come back up, and then you slowly fall again. I think I have a cheat code, and I think I know how to break this. This is what I'm doing right now. To break this cycle of extremes and not let self-doubt corrupt me, there are 5 different things I am doing. This is solely based on years of experience with this cycle. So number 1, what I am doing is I am focusing my mood inward instead of outward. The biggest starting point of the cycle of extremes is when you're sitting there and you tie your mood to external success, a grade on a test, an internship, if you pass the first round of an interview, if you're losing weight, if you got this girl. That is the first step in falling off the cycle of extremes. Because if things aren't going well, self-doubt starts to creep in. So instead, this is what I'm doing. When I'm sitting here on a Saturday night and I'm really lacking motivation, I don't want to do any of this. I want to sit and scroll on my phone right now. That's what I want to do, but I know I shouldn't. I'm at war at myself in my head. But in that moment, I am thinking so deeply about how I'm going to feel the next day and the day after that and the week after that if I screw off in that time. I am solely tying my mood to serving the best version of my future self. It is all inward. And I'm getting so intertwined in my head and in my emotions and thinking of how I'm going to feel in the future. And as I think, the more and more I think, I'm going to be pissed at myself and unhappy if I screw off this time right now, or if I just go and binge eat. It's not worth it. And when you can really focus your mood inward and focus it on serving the best version of your future self, this will help you break the cycle of extremes, push past that time that you don't want to do something, and get right back on track. Number 2, this is going to sound a little bit crazy. I am implementing strategic balance in my life. For example, I am making myself drink 1 glass of wine or 1 alcoholic beverage per week. Because in the past, when I restrict myself and I say, no, you can't drink, well, then it gets to a point where all I want to do is go out and party. So I'm not allowing that to happen. There's strategy to this. Every Saturday night, maybe a Friday night, I'm going to have a glass of wine. Boom. I got it. I'm not craving it. It's in moderation. Good. I am forcing myself, and this isn't even a force, I enjoy doing this, but at least a non-negotiable, once a week, doing something with my friends. It does not have to be going out and partying, which I'm not doing, but it could be a simple thing like going to the Ritz-Carlton and getting a glass of wine, or going to the Ritz and getting a glass of tea, or watching a movie, or getting dinner with a friend. A simple thing like that that allows me to ease off, enjoy good company with friends. That is a non-negotiable, which I'm making myself do. And then the last one is I am trying to make myself a little bit more self-accepting. Meaning, last semester, I would be going out Friday, Saturday, maybe a Thursday, partying, drinking, wake up the next day, it's a wasted day. I'm not doing that this semester. So there haven't been any more wasted days. And because I'm getting all that time back the next day and the day after that, it's okay at times, if I'm running a little bit low on motivation, to say, okay, I'll watch YouTube right now. Okay, I'm going to scroll. Okay, I'll do this. I'll do that. Be a little bit more self-accepting. And this is pure strategy, guys. This is strategy. So I don't restrict myself and be so hard on myself that it gets to a point where I'm so burnt out and I can't do anything else. It's pure strategy. It's trying to work in a little bit more balance, but still being very focused. Number 3. This is a tough one. When you're low on motivation, for example, last night, when I'm saying it's 4 o'clock and I don't want to do anything, do whatever you have to do to get good dopamine. Good dopamine comes from going on a walk. Reset your mind. Good dopamine could come from getting a cold shower. Good dopamine could come from reading a book. Good dopamine could be from going downstairs to your friend's apartment and just having a conversation. All that stuff is good dopamine. The thing that I really struggle with is when I have low motivation. And when I say low motivation, it's like not connected to my purpose and I'm not seeing the why. When that happens, I just get in such a phase where I'm like, I don't want to do anything. I just want to sit. I want to take a nap. I want to scroll on TikTok or watch YouTube or eat food. That's what that happens. But I know because of number one, focusing my mood inward, I know that all that stuff is going to make me miserable in a couple of hours or the next day. So I have to force myself to get up and go for a run because I know that it's going to help so much after that 30 minutes. I did this last Saturday. Again, low motivation, end of the night. I'm like, holy cow, dude, I am going on a path right now to just screwing off the rest of the night. But I know I'm going to be mad at myself if I do it. So I forced myself to get up and go for a 30-minute run. As soon as that 30-minute run was done, boom, confidence up. I'm feeling great. I put in another system to go out and go to the Ritz-Carlton with some friends and just enjoy the night. Get good dopamine and force yourself to do it at times of low motivation. Number 4, and I've learned this from a couple of the entrepreneurs that I have interviewed and a lot of my friends, but I'm starting the process of delegation. I'm freaking done doing some of this stuff where you can consider it busy work. Some of the editing on YouTube for me, that's busy work. Like I'm not great at it, nor is it the best use of my time. And because it never ends, it's always in the back of my head, getting me overwhelmed, anxious, and it's leading me to burnout. So I need to start freeing up my schedule and delegating those sorts of tasks to focus what I enjoy and what I'm good at. And then the last one, I've mentioned this so many different times in this podcast, and it is one of the best things on this entire planet. Visualize. Visualize yourself in every single scenario, whatever you want to work on. Sometimes, some mornings, I visualize myself being confident, more confident. Sometimes I'll visualize myself at boxing class when I'm suffering and I want to give up and I push past it. Sometimes I'll visualize myself having a conversation with a stranger and getting over that awkwardness. Sometimes I'll visualize myself not hitting snooze or moving past burnout in times of low motivation. Anything that you want to get better at in this life, you can visualize. Any single thing. The only limitation is what you can actually imagine, and that stems from you not being creative enough. So if there's a certain thing and you're facing this cycle of extremism and low on motivation, visualize yourself in that time of low motivation and pushing past it, because your mind doesn't know the difference between reality and imagination. So you're walking through real life in your head, and then your brain will have the roadmap on what to do when you're actually in that situation. Breaking the cycle of extremes and self-doubt is a game of self-reflection. You have to sit down and understand yourself and your patterns very well. I didn't come to this knowledge just randomly like that. I've spent for the past 3 years every single day journaling, trying to understand myself. Every single New Year's doing a thorough self-analysis and reflecting vividly on certain experiences in my life. That's how I came to all this information and how I came to knowing myself and how I get wrapped in the cycle. If I don't do that, I never know this stuff. First of all, it's a game of self-reflection. You have to be aware. Then you need to accept it and understand your trends and just admit, okay, I do this. And once that happens, that's where strategy comes in. And you can put these systems in your life to not fall in the trap of this again. But what I will say, and this is a good problem to have, this is never going to go away. When you are ambitious and you have a big vision and a mission, you're always going to be anxious. You're going to be motivated at times. And then other times you're going to sit there and say, I don't know what the hell is going on. I don't know what I'm doing. I don't deserve any of this. None of this makes sense. That's going to happen. But that's the privilege of doing what you're doing. And I am in it just like you are. If you enjoyed this video, please hit that like button, hit the subscribe button. Somewhere on the screen should direct you to somewhere else in our channel. But as always, believe foolishly.